What's up, my green? What's up, my Getty green queens, kings, and everything in between? Welcome back to High Thoughts by Getty Greenz. I'm your go-to goddess, chronic queen, ready to spill the tea, spark some insight, and toast to this wild thing called life.
Now I'm Agent K, your...
Gen Z.
I was so mad when I saw that. Let's rewind. I was like, now you know.
Oh, wait. Also, we should talk about that one episode, too. I need to get this. Ooh, who came in here and took my other?
Probably Selah, because I don't be touching your post-it notes.
I'm telling you what, I'm about to give you some more post-it notes, and you better not touch my shit. You want some post-its, go steal them from school like you did been doing. Shit.
Or ask for some, Darren.
No, nigga. Okay. Let's see. 20 years behind.
Yeah, because I'm not millennial. I'm a Gen Z.
Okay, let's take it back from the top.
Okay. And I am Agent K.
No.
Oh, you're going to say it?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, we're just deleting the whole thing?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not even going to delete them because there might be something in there I can use.
Well, go ahead.
Okay. Ready? Give me a 5 countdown. What's up, my Getty green queens, kings, and everything in between? Welcome back to High Thoughts by Getty Greenz. I'm your go-to goddess, chronic queen, ready to spill the tea, spark some insight, and toast to this wild thing called life.
And I'm Agent K, your Gen Z chaos coordinator. The memes, I bring them. The snacks, never without them. Can't stop being hungry.
Can't stop being hungry.
And the hot takes, you already know. This is the podcast where one thought leads to another rabbit hole. And suddenly we're in a whole vibe of rabbit holes.
And today's vibe is next level. We're looking back on 2024, those highs, pun absolutely intended, the lessons we learned, and the moments we were like, did that actually just happen?
Spoiler, it did. I was dying. And you were there. And you were there for all of it.
AI being a whole prophet.
But don't light that joint too fast. That's not just reminiscing. We're peeking ahead to 2025 with big plans and bold moves and maybe a few surprises. Not too many, please.
Right.
Let's just say, let's just say it's about to get real grain around her.
So pack your bowls, spark those joints, and settle in. Let's toast to what's behind us, puff to what's ahead, and vibe out together. Because at Getty Greenz, the journey is the destination.
Are you ready, Quen?
Girl.
Why'd you sound like SpongeBob when he was trying to be a girl?
Girl. You know I stay ready. Let's do this.
Okay, so now we can light it up.
Light that bitch up. Light it up.
It's
Homegrown.
Homegrown.
It's homegrown.
With the Swisher's grape, and I hate grape.
It's homegrown 2024. And by the time you guys actually hear this, it'll be the end of the year. So, by the way, let's talk about that real quick. Our very first episode was actually on the 30th of December, 2023.
Eve of Christmas Eve.
Eve of New Year's Eve.
I mean, yeah, I said Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
New Year's Eve.
Eve of New Year's Eve. So, with that being said, this episode will actually mark,
vagina. I'm joking.
Whoa.
I was gonna say charcuterie board, but vagina
But
came
vaginas
first.
came out? That's crazy. I don't even know what to say to that. So, what I was trying to say is that,
anyway,
this episode, by the time you hear it, will mark 1 year. Yay us!
Yay
We made it a whole
us.
year, even though we only have 13 episodes.
it doesn't matter.
We still made it.
We did it. We're consistently thinking about the podcast.
We're consistently thinking. Now we need to get to consistently doing.
Yes. So,
and we're going to talk about that here. So this is our birthday episode.
Wait.
Happy birthday to us.
Before we get into the birthday, check in. How are we doing?
Bro, we already said happy birthday. So happy birthday, Getty Greenz. God.
Gosh. Happy
Okay.
birthday.
Now, how
1
are
year old.
you
One
doing?
baby. No, I asked you first. How are you doing?
I am spectacularly well. That was from Outcast for those old heads back in the day.
Know that.
So I'm doing okay. Just trying to get over the
Living life.
not thinking I'm good enough to do the podcast type thing, which we'll actually talk about later in this episode. But also, just like, rolling with the punches of life right now, and also
like
setting sights on 2025 and not exactly knowing what's going to happen, but, still doing the best that we can. What about you?
Living like Larry. I'm joking.
Oh my gosh.
So, life's just lifing. And I'm tired of life. Can life just life in a good way? Like, I can be like, oh yeah, in this really bad way, I can gain a lesson. Beautiful. Love it. Okay, next.
Just lifing.
Life is just life.
So I'm living like Larry.
Living like Larry. Got that written down.
Do you know what that's from?
SpongeBob.
Okay, just make it sure. Did you see that episode?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god, what kind of millennial do you think I am?
I mean, some of the episodes you don't be knowing, I'll be like, girl,
Yeah,
you were there.
That was one of the most iconic ones. So
Oh yeah, it was.
don't be playing with me.
I'm just making sure. Gotta know.
All right, so now that we both know that life is life
You're living like Larry.
and we're living like Larry, 2024 seemed to be a huge life lesson year and learning year for us personally, as well as attempting to build this brand and podcast this year. There were some great setbacks beginning at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
In that, so I started the year off with a 40-hour per week job I had to drive across town for and all that stuff, which I don't particularly care for. And then I was basically promised a position at another place, and then whenever I went there to complete everything, they told me that they couldn't hire me because I had a medical marijuana card, which I thought was stupid, and they should have told me that prior to, because
I
definitely quit my job. So
I mean, not only that, but I know you definitely be like, I smoke marijuana. Like,
oh yeah, I was definitely.
I
wasn't advertising it, but I wasn't not advertising it either. I'm pretty sure that I either said it that I do smoke and they laughed it off or something or whatever. But because the position was dealing with cars, even though I personally wasn't going to be driving cars, they couldn't hire me for the position.
That's so dumb.
But it doesn't matter because everything did work out in the end. So I'm not going to get all bent out of shape for it. It was just that that's how the year started for me. So I started the year basically with no job, and had to utilize side hustles, which, sometimes doing that, it can be strenuous and stuff like that. So, what about you? Did you have any setbacks early in 2024?
Finding a freaking job.
Yeah, that actually took both of us.
It took us
the
forever.
First quarter of 2024, so the first 3 months.
Finding a job.
When I say 3 months, I mean like towards the end of March is when both of us got a new job.
We got a job at the same day.
The same day.
And not around the same area, but like literally
a lot closer.
There. A lot closer than
to
we
the
think.
House.
Yeah, a lot closer to our home than we think.
For me, I learned a new skill that I didn't think I was going to actually be good at, but ended up being pretty damn good at. So,
for me,
that.
I totally agree with you on that one because you were very worried about
them
your skills, your skill set not being enough or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, you'll be fine. You learn quick, how they be saying.
That's pretty much what they say. And just so that, just to make it a little bit more interesting, in the daytime, I masquerade around as a caregiver. I'm part of a team of caregivers for a set of autistic twins. So
amazing.
Have I been a parent before, a caregiver? Yes, twice over now. But the person I am specifically in charge of is profoundly autistic, and that is a completely different set of skills that I didn't have prior to coming in here. But I have been there for the entire time, the entire rest of the year, and I'm getting a raise next month. Yay me! So must be doing something right. So. Agent K over here, her job is a lot more closer. She actually works more hours, but obviously gets paid less because of the type of job it is.
I do get paid less, but I have a good work ethic, so therefore I'm gaining more hours.
Not only that, but my personal, on the outside looking in, 2 cents, I guess, to say, is that Agent K has stepped out of her comfort zone a little bit in this job, and probably has a lot more confidence in her position here than maybe at other jobs for the same thing. And this type of environment has allowed her to shine, so I feel like it's really helping her.
Yes.
Possibly even in other areas. So that is something really cool to witness, being a mom of Agent K and business partner. It's nice to see, some additional skills being manifest and things like that. Anything else to add?
Other setbacks in the part of the beginning of the year. Sorry,
we're actually past this part.
Oh, new job. Sorry.
That's where we just were.
Oh, shit.
So, are you not following along?
I was not looking.
Well, you have one over there.
I know, but I wasn't looking. Well, this is also in my way of whenever I'm smoking with you.
Oh,
so I'm just looking over there at your screen. Anyway, so the recording equipment challenges were always very discouraging because we always thought we had it every fucking time that we recorded or was planning to record, something crazy was happening.
So let's just go back to the beginning of the year. So at the beginning of the year, the only microphones that we had available were these
USB.
No, they weren't. Yeah, USB, but there are some clip-on mics that they suggest on a lot of YouTube channels, they suggest for YouTubers to just start with that because it's cheaper than $10 to get. Granted, we were like able to record, yes, like check the box, but the quality of it was horrible. We were recording in the kitchen, so there was no like barrier in the sound. It just sounded really airy, and things like that. So, listening back to it, I'm like, this sound bugs me. Maybe we need to change the location, which did help, but the location wasn't very convenient. So then it was like, okay, let's get some different mics. Let's get some I don't know what the heck they call them. It's like the first one is we got 3 different ones. So yeah. Anyway, the first one came with like
an audio interface,
but it was a podcast. See, that's not how it started. It started out with getting a podcast bundle. In the podcast bundle came 2 mics, condenser mics. Okay,
yeah, with specific ones
with the pop screen, and then it also came with
that's important to
soundboard. Okay, it was a really small one. And the reason why we got this soundboard specifically was because it had buttons that you could play sounds for, like if you were in front of a live audience or streaming or something like that, which we wanted to do.
Say like often, like meme wise.
Yeah, or like a buzzer sound or like a clapping sound or whatever.
A lighter flick sound.
Right. So we got that, and then we were able to record a couple episodes with it, but again, we didn't like the way that it sounded. And then out of the middle of nowhere, it just the laptop that I have, which is an Apple, by the way, just stopped recognizing the piece of equipment. Like it hadn't been recognizing it for the past weeks or whatever the case may be. So that was frustrating. And let's go back a little bit. The very first thing that we tried to do was read a book on the air, and the book specifically was Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe Dispenza. We read the first chapter
3 times.
3 times. And each time, either the recording didn't record, or we saved it in a way that we couldn't bring it back up, or the save was corrupted in some kind of manner.
And the audio was so good.
But each time we improved on the audio, like what we were saying and doing, how we were saying it and acting it out or whatever. And each time it was just a disappointment. So we basically stopped recording after that for a little bit of time.
Because we were so frustrated.
And also, it was the beginning of the year. We were looking for new jobs. Shit happened.
Life is lifing in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, for real. And prior to us actually finding these jobs, we actually got a business opportunity where we could be our own boss for a deli
hospital.
at a hospital here in town, and we were working really hard to make that happen with basically no money,
at all.
And what ended up happening was basically they overlooked us and went with somebody else. However, we had stopped doing all this stuff and was mainly focused on that, and then things were crunch time, bills wise and everything like that, so we had to just be like, we'll start getting to that later. And later never came because we were so stressed out learning our new jobs, and then the recording stuff wasn't happening. So needless to say, after the failed attempts at the book thing, we threw that idea completely out. Okay, we just started talking about random shit basically. And then I got a new soundboard, an actual soundboard with sliders and knobs and everything, right? Well, that also didn't improve the sound quality at all. In my opinion, it made it worse. In my opinion, the soundboard made it worse. I think it's too technical of a piece of equipment for me personally, because I'm the one doing the recording and the editing, to be able to utilize. Or maybe I didn't have the right program. I was using Audacity at that time, and I have gripes with Audacity, because of it.
Quality issue wise, it does not work.
It's a free option.
It's great.
Yes,
for free.
You get an opportunity to record. You know what I mean?
But once you know what quality is, You're game over.
Right.
You're done.
So,
sorry, Audacity.
So, I got another. So then at that time I found out what you need is a audio interface. So I find an audio interface, which is what we're using now, but still also challenges with it and the recording program now that we are using is Adobe Audition. Yes, I'm paying money for that, but I don't even care that I'm paying money for it because it's a far superior product than what I was utilizing. So there's that. But now, in our opinion, the problem that we're having ultimately is too long of time for editing. And the only way that I think that we're going to be able to correct that is by getting new mics. Because apparently there are two types of different microphones. There's a condenser mic, which is what we have, which means that every goddamn sound in this house, this microphone is going to pick up.
Anything.
And I have a plethora of egg cartons on the wall to absorb some of that. So either A, the egg cartons are not working, or B, the condenser mic is really effing good and it's picking up every damn thing.
No matter what.
So the answer to that is getting dynamic mics so you can speak directly into the mic and it's only going to give you that audio, not the stuff around the side. Of course, those microphones are more expensive. And at this time, which is December 2024, we actually just got hit with a life emergency right at the end of 2024.
Yeah, with our freaking dog.
With our dog. Had to go to the emergency room about a week ago. Maybe a little less than a week ago.
It was like
she came out of the room with her eye popped out of her eye socket.
It was Saturday.
No, it was Thursday.
Oh, it was Thursday.
And
oh yeah, you're right.
And so we had to deal with that. Ended up paying $500. The vet that we took her to, absolutely fantastic. I'm not faulting them. They worked with me on the pricing and with taking care of the emergency in the most fantabulous way I could have ever asked for.
Definitely the only place I trust.
To take either one of our dogs. But now we have a one-eyed dog that is still taking medication before she can take her sutures out. So that was a little bit of a setback towards the end of the year. But as life started getting a little bit easier and we could see some light at the end of the tunnel, we then came to a new set of challenges, which was procrastination challenges.
I'm the queen of procrastination.
So,
I can't help it. I try not to. It's my ADHD, I swear.
Yeah, but
I gotta go get tested.
No,
promise you.
I mean, you don't have to get tested. If you feel like you have ADHD, then you have ADHD. Yes. Okay, and procrastination is a thing about ADHD, but you have to figure out how to overcome that.
I mean,
period.
Yeah, I know.
So, and it's not just you. We tried to divvy up tasks so that we could tackle this thing in creating this podcast and brand, and Agent K chose to take on social media because I was taking on the editing, and editing was taking a lot more time for my days than I anticipated, especially in the beginning when I didn't know what to do. All the Audacity videos were on YouTube and not in like an Audacity university where I can get the information that I needed. And then most of the tutorials on Audacity are pretty basic, and I wasn't able to figure it out or make it work for me. Once I got Audition, to me, it's a game changer. There's a lot more flexibility. There's a lot more shortcuts, a lot more in-depth tutorials on YouTube as well as through Adobe. So I've been able to reduce the amount of time that I'm spending on making the audio sound great because of the additional plugins that are available for editing, which has helped a lot. But editing isn't really my favorite thing to do about the podcast. I actually like creating the stuff, but once it's recorded, I could literally care less to like bring it back up.
That's literally how I feel.
So therefore, it is just creating a little bit of a bottleneck, either in content or just creating content, and both of us are struggling to get past them. And so that leads to our next one, which is the mental crunch or the not feeling good enough. Mental crunch meaning like, oh my God, I have all these things that I need to balance: regular life, my job, stuff that's going on in the house. I need to make sure I'm cooking. My dogs need to stay with both of their eyes in their socket.
Right.
And
good Lord.
And also like all the 20 billion thousand things I want to do with this podcast, right? So every time I listen to somebody else's podcast, they could have literally just started the same amount of time I did, and I'm still like, how did they get their stuff to sound like that? What kind of equipment are they using?
Right.
Like, as if those are the reasons why their sound is better, or they seem more polished than us, or whatever. So that tends to bog me personally down a lot. And then also like, you know, our life isn't like super flashy. We don't go out and do a bunch of stuff. So I'm like, who really wants to see this shit on social media? And so therefore I also don't take a more nuanced approach to social media, in that I'm always trying to document something, because I'm just like, I rolled up a blunt, great, I smoked it, cool, I'm working on hashtags today or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not like, hey, let me put a camera in front of my face and be like, look guys, I'm working behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't even think about that either.
Yeah, no, we're just starting. We did a full year, a total of 13 episodes. Like, there's nothing that you guys are wanting to fucking see in the house right now. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, working.
Yeah. I mean, besides like working, we're just not. There's nothing that's cool going on, okay? Like, I feel like if we start posting stuff on social media, it would just be boring. And maybe that's because we're living our life, so to us it's boring.
I was just about to say that. Like, there's so many people who think that their life is boring, and there's people who want to see what's going on in their life once they, learn about them.
Well then, Agent K, I challenge you to say, then why haven't you started doing social media?
What haven't you started doing social media?
Just saying. Only because
I don't ever think about it. That's the thing. Like, I don't think about grabbing the camera and like journaling. Like, that's the thing. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
so
I do.
It's not on my mind. Like, I can write it down, but like, I won't ever like be like, camera, take that shit out, and be like,
that needs to change.
I mean,
what I'm saying.
I get it, but I have to also be like, hey, this is really that's what it is. Like, that's what I'm thinking about. Like, I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying this is what I'm thinking during that time.
I mean, I just said I just literally finished saying I obviously do the same thing.
Yes,
so.
I know.
Anyway, the last thing is, when we did start back getting more consistent in doing podcasts, we fell into the politically charged climate of an election year, and feeling like we need to use our platform to say something.
Pressure everywhere going on during the election, and like, everyone was talking, everyone had an opinion, great, love it, but like, some of that shit was very negative and not needed to be said out loud, and needed to just be said in your home or in your head. Like the golden rule, how we be saying.
Right.
If you ain't got nothing to say, don't say it at all, nigga.
Also, that brings up the point of us, like, kind of sort of sticking to our mission statement or whatever. I actually went back and listened to last year's podcast, the very first one, that's entitled 2024 Among Other Things. And that was just us, like, basically saying all the things that we wanted to do in the podcast. And when I listened to that, I was kind of laughing to myself, because I literally this year utilized AI in order to help me with crafting like a mission statement and a value statement, and based on all the things that we've utilized to help with ideas and stuff like that on AI, it basically constructed something that we already talked about in 2024. Mm-hmm. So it like kind of just brought us full circle to see that like we should just stick to what we said we were going to stick to, even if there's political things that we want to talk about. It probably shouldn't be the main feed that we're talking about those things, or it needs to be part of a segment that we talk about that's still relevant to our mission statement, instead of falling into that. Now, if we later on find out that the audience does want us to, in fact, talk about these political things or whatever, then we'll do that, but we'll do it in a way where it doesn't bug everybody or ourselves.
Yeah. That's all I'm going to say is yeah.
So, basically, the next segment of today's 2024 like recap and looking back is, did we do all the things that we said we would in our 2024 among other things episode? So I basically went through and typed out all the things that we said and who said them, basically. Mm-hmm. So the first thing was comic strip, that Agent K wanted to create like a comic strip to put on social media or webtoons.
I didn't even do it. But I have the character.
With Rez and all the other people, and we had kind of sort of helped with a line, like a, not a line, but like a plot, like a story plot, and things like that. But I'm not sure exactly what happened throughout the year that no longer made that a thing. Just work. Okay.
And then people being like, oh, you can draw? Oh, draw this. Oh, draw this. No, that is not what you say to artists. You can fucking draw. Thank you very much.
So, another thing is that Agent K said that she was going to be putting her art out there.
Definitely did not.
And, so...
I just don't be thinking about it. Ever.
Well, most of the time, you do think about it, but you don't want to put it out there because you don't believe in your stuff.
Well,
nobody wants to see that because it's not about
I know,
recently.
But I'm
this
just
is
saying,
about the whole
from
year.
Then, yeah, I'm just saying. I'm also bringing it back to right now. Recently, I have just not been thinking about it because when I am drawing certain things, I'm like, ooh, that was good.
Yes, but you're also like, I don't complete anything, so why am I going to put it out there?
Yeah.
And I basically just stopped talking to you about it because it always ends up being in a fight. I'm not ready, Mom, and all this stuff.
Like, well, come on, kid, damn.
Well, no, I mean, hey, what else am I supposed to do? I don't know how else to motivate you.
I don't know how else to motivate me either.
Okay,
Mom.
Well, it just seems like anytime somebody tries to, like, say, man, that's great, or whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if if somebody compliments you.
I'm like, thanks, it's
or
okay,
doesn't
though.
compliment you, and you're, like, do that, which is you discredit yourself, and then you don't put yourself out there, but then you're always like, oh, I wish I was somebody like 1000, or something like that.
And then I'm like, I get discouraged because then it starts looking bad, so I have to take a break. So whatever. I'm not about to have that conversation right now. We're about to move on to the next one.
Which is Agent K saying that she wants to do more cooking and baking.
I've been kind of doing that because we got a new oven.
Ding, ding. Agent K did do that. She learned how to make a lot of different things this year. Specifically, she made cheesecake, high cheesecake. She also did do a couple of other, like, cakes. The blondie and the brownie cheesecake.
Oh, yeah.
We did a tres leches cake that included coconut. That was bomb as hell. She discovered that she can make great chocolate chip or like triple chocolate cookies.
Yes.
What else did you do?
Focaccia.
Agent K makes bread.
It's so good.
It's very good. Focaccia is one of her favorites currently. We also used to make like sandwich bread and stuff like that, just regular bread for the house to eat, which we do need to get back to.
Yeah. So now we're waiting on something else.
Well, according to the Belizean Queen, she wants us to make bread for her specific as well, but she wants to get a bread machine for us to do it.
Like, it's just going to be so much faster.
She doesn't know. She's not over here doing stuff. And the only thing I will say about that is, one, we did get a brand new oven for Thanksgiving, so that has spawned us to want to do more cooking.
Because now it's better.
But also, again, we don't grab the camera.
I definitely do not.
The next thing, I think Agent K actually started this last year, so that's why it's like Agent K. But she specifically said that she wanted to be vulnerable on video and talk about more personal stuff.
Yeah, I don't do that.
And she doesn't even do it in person either, so it's not even like...
I'm like, it's none of your business.
Even though she specifically said that she wanted to do that, so...
Not even like, it's also because I just don't think about picking up the camera, but I have to be like, pick up the camera, stupid hoe.
Oh my god. Don't talk to yourself like that.
I know, I'm just saying, like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Okay.
You're supposed to be taking a picture. I don't even take a picture of moments that I could be taking a picture of.
So the next one, for Agent K is spend more family time. Specifically, you were meaning like play games.
Yeah, we don't do none of that.
Other stuff like that. We have been saying that we want to do that over and over again, but we don't like be like, hey, it's Monday, it's family time.
Yeah. No.
Or family game night or whatever. So I guess that's on us, all of us, because you specifically have been asking to play spades and
all the time.
Learn dominoes and things like that. The other thing, the last thing that I believe that Agent K said in her top of the podcast last year thing was getting her driver's license.
I didn't do that either.
She didn't do that either. So it's another year is upon us. She's about to be another year older and no driver's license.
And I don't give a fuck.
Even though you should. So
I really don't, though, because there's so many other people who... y'all are like, I don't care. Those are older people.
It is about that, but it's also about like, hey, if you were to get your
I know that it's
driver's license,
helpful.
it would be easier for the whole family.
I get that.
Okay, well,
I'm just saying.
I don't know what you're just saying.
You're like, another year, no license.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, don't care. Sorry. Like, well, I'll get it.
Whatever. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. You'll get it when you're 40?
Sure, I'm going to get married.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Just make sure that I get a goat out of the deal.
No.
So now here's where I start saying stuff that I want to do for the podcast, which is grow your own, make your own stuff, meaning like from the garden, grow your own weed, make your own like jelly, preserves, just all the food that you can get in a can and in the freezer. We should be able to do the same thing for ourselves. And honestly, in 2024, it wasn't that I didn't have enough time, because the job that I currently have during the daytime does not require a lot of days per week. I only work 3 days per week. So I could have been putting more time into the garden and into that stuff. In 2023, I did a lot of that. So by the end of 2023, that was like a goal for me to do more of that, and I didn't. So that was literally, I think, me just not really understanding like time management for a part-time job and everything else that I needed to do. And also, I was doing a lot of cooking for the people who I caregive for at the beginning of the year, and that died back. It was a lot of just not knowing how my week was going to be, but now I can just, probably take a little bit more control of that and figure, hey, I get out at this time, I can still take a nap and still do things I need to do outside and whatever else. The next thing was get off the dependency of the system. So, what I was actually meaning by that is like, okay, there's been a lot of food recalls, especially this past year and the year before that. And it's been like deli meat after deli meat after deli meat and freaking even produce and stuff like that. Originally, that's what that was meaning. Also, eggs, we all know, is sky high. So like getting your own chickens and having for eggs as well as for meat to fill your freezer up and other things like that. It's called homesteading, when you like kind of live off your own like little plot or whatnot. You could do it even in an apartment. You would just probably have to do it in a different way. But what I can say that I did as far as getting off the dependency of the system is that I'm actually making too much money to be able to have food stamps now. So, yay me, not on the dependence of the system. It just creates a different problem in that the money that you did get from food stamps, you now have to take out of your paycheck, and that puts you at not being able to really take care of everything. So like having to navigate that part is something new that I'm having to deal with currently. But I guess it's a good problem to have, is how I'm trying to look at it. So, still want to get off the dependency of the system, just need to make it work for me and my household. So, another thing that came up in 2024 for me was getting more into the medicinal and homesteady stuff. Medicinal meaning like grow your own medicine, create your own medicine from natural things and stuff like that. In 2023, I did make fire cider, and I actually still have that some of that fire cider, and we just drank some, me and Sayla. Mm-hmm. I just drank some, me and the Kraken the other day, in order to help out with some coughing. So,
disgusting.
Still available. The stuff is still available, and I still did learn some new things this year. I just haven't applied them. So, needing to apply those things. The next thing that I said that I wanted to do last year was take the podcast seriously. So at the beginning of the year, we started off pretty strong, and then life got to us and we let go of it. And then we did come back later on in the year and we became more consistent, not as consistent as we wanted to be, but it was still more consistent. You can see that with the dates of the posting. We just kind of got off topic from what we were supposed to be doing, and then we were never able to really get ahead so that it wouldn't be too stressful and overwhelming. So we have a plan for this year, for 2025, for it not to be so stressful and overwhelming, and not kind of like flying by the seat of our pants. I also said we wanted to monetize. I feel like it took all of this whole year to figure out how to monetize, and not necessarily like, hey, we just need to grow to X amount of people in order to be able to get cents from the ads or whatever the case may be. There's other ways to monetize, and we had to just think through all that and see what other people were doing and connect with the proper accounts and things like that in order to really see like how to make this work for us. Then I got into more like personal stuff for the household, like wanting the Kraken to test for the gifted program at school, which she actually did, and the test score said that she was basic, even though that's funny because it said basic on the freaking test scores or whatever. If you've ever met the Kraken, you would know that's far from the truth. So it's just, I guess, funny how they weight these testings. And I don't even know what the questioning is that's on the test, or and that could be an effect of why she wasn't able to get the proper results either, because depending on how you ask the question, we'll be like, what? I'm not sure what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to give her a way out. I'm just like literally saying these are things that could make the difference in it, as opposed to just being able to like talk with a Kraken and observe her and be like, you definitely got this or whatever, you know. We also talked about joining the YMCA and working out, which I can literally say I probably reversed my metabolism by not working out. And then the YMCA thing just kind of got pushed to the back burner because just monetarily things didn't happen the way that I wanted to. I did say that I wanted to read more books and that we were talking about reading books on air, and we never did that.
Because the first month
was just reading the book, and then
jacked up.
We couldn't get it.
We were
so
like, fuck that shit.
I don't even know if that's something that people would like. Or anything like that. So if it is, if you do listen to the podcast, you've gotten this far, and you think it would be cool if we read books on air, let us know in the comments of the show, or connect with us on social media. Feel free to DM us or whatever.
We would need to like voice act.
Yeah, I mean, if that's only if you're reading fiction.
Yes, like, I know. I mean, like,
the majority of the stuff that
whatever we're reading, we still need to make it interesting.
I feel like we did that.
I know.
Okay.
We did, but I'm just saying, like, out loud, in general, like, we gotta make it very interesting, even with, like, the music, the background music.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I mean. Like,
all the Jedi, like music. Wow. Anyway, just adding to that, I was thinking about doing like a banned books club through Getty Greenz this year or something like that, as I think that I actually own at least 3 or more banned books. So, you know, might be something worth doing just because I'm a rebel without a cause. And then of course, lastly, we got into all of my conspiracy theories of Flat Earth, the Tower of Babel, Agent K mentioned Gravity Falls, spell about the firmament theories and stuff like that, and like how we were putting that shit together, and then into one conspiracy.
If you watch the freaking show, like, come on now,
like you would understand. And then also like the alien stuff, the rapture, and the propaganda war, which we're living through right fucking now.
Unfortunately,
I mean. Or fortunately, depending on how you're looking at it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I wanted to talk about all that and didn't really push that as much just because I didn't want to be like viewed as a conspiracy theorist that's like way out there.
So out there, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Excuse me, slow your roll.
Yeah. Wanting to do more conspiracy theory stuff just because like getting high and talking about that shit is kind of fun.
Facts.
Just because your like mind is really open to different things, and you start like just floating down
together things.
Yeah,
and you're like, wait,
and you're like, dang, that actually
works.
Yeah. So, that to me is more like high thoughts than any other high thoughts. Most of the high thoughts that like when you look up and try to be like, what
they're
high thoughts?
They're
stupid, and they do not break the stigma. So
yes.
And that's what we're trying to do here. Then it went into Agent K talking about dreams and visions, and that she wanted to get more into talking about that.
Well, I definitely fucking did.
Yes, but did we talk about it on the podcast?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, well,
if we didn't post any of it, we definitely did. Like, I definitely did.
I don't remember that being in the podcast. So
because whenever we were checking in, I was like, I had this weird dream.
Okay,
about
I'll definitely have to.
Something.
We did change the format like several times too. So, also. Me, myself, Chronic Queen, I don't really get dreams and visions, but I do get downloads and confirmation. And there were definitely a lot of times throughout the year that I did get downloads and confirmation, but I either A, didn't write them down, And also, sometimes the downloads and confirmation like show up or manifest in ways different than you assume that they would. So, like, you have to be able to, like, see through, like, your ego's expectation of what that download or confirmation was and how it manifested in this way. And that happened several times throughout the year, and I'm damn sure know that we didn't talk about that shit because I didn't write them down. And then also the last thing I think that we said that we wanted to do is get back to meditating, yoga, and breath work. That's my 3 specific ones that I wanted to get back to. Agent K has been meditating more. I don't know what other things that you do. I do know you've been doing tarot again.
I haven't been doing breath work or yoga, okay?
And I also wanted to get back to like journaling and shadow work.
I've been doing that.
So, and a lot of that still stands. So basically for me, almost everything that I said that I wanted to do, I did not fucking do. I don't think that there was any one thing that I said that I wanted to do that I actually stuck to last year. So that is smack on the wrist for me.
And me.
Agent K did more of the things that she said she wanted to do.
I only had a small ass list of things that I was going to do.
But also didn't document. So
I did not document.
I just didn't do it and didn't document. Agent K did it and then just didn't document. So we do need to get more into doing the things that we said we're going to do. But also document that shit. Even if you don't do it, you document it and go, hey, I said I was going to do all this stuff and I didn't. So now I'm like bringing myself back on track.
Right.
You know, and being honest with the audience about it.
Or you can be like, okay, well, I did this already, and I done forgot to record myself.
Right. So this is a recreation.
So I'm making it again.
Right.
Wink, wink.
So, excuse me.
So now it's time. Sir, we are smirking. This, mystery sour diesel.
This is
from Vegas.
From Las Vegas.
Nevada.
My father, we'd call him GP Ev on the show. He doesn't listen to the show, so it's not like it would make a difference. So, but yeah, anyway, some kind of way he got this to us, okay? That's all I'm going to say. So we're lighting this up. This is the special strain for the end of 2024, moving into the 2025 Getty Greenz season. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Put away all the fucked up shit that we didn't fucking complete from last year.
Yeah, and start smoking anew.
But let's briefly just talk about what the fuck happened in 2024. Like, why didn't we do any of the shit that we said?
I don't even know, though. I couldn't even tell you.
I think that
there was a lot mentally, I think, going on.
There was a lot mentally, but I think ultimately it was just that we made it out to be bigger than it needed to be instead of just doing it.
Yeah. On certain things, yes.
And we kind of got bogged down in the details.
And then we really started, like, working, like, a lot more than we normally were at the time.
Yeah, you're talking about working for other people, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and so it has taken us a long time to figure out how to balance, like, life outside of the house versus life inside the house and all the other things that we want to do. But I think that we are on target for it now. So, let's go ahead and move on to new shit for 2025.
Better plans.
Agent K, I'm going to let you start.
Okay, so. Anyway, my first one is working on my networking skills because I'm good with people, right? I'm not a people person. I don't like people. Like, I'm great with people, right? And I work in hospitality. But
Agent K is a natural networker. Like, she doesn't
I don't do it on purpose.
She doesn't put herself in positions that are uncomfortable purposely.
No, they just happen.
Meaning that she's not like, today's Wednesday, I'm off. Maybe I should go to a networking event and tell about all the wonderful things that I've done.
Yes.
She's not doing that.
No.
But if we do happen to do an event, not do an event like we're holding it,
like we're going somewhere.
We're going to an event, then she's the one that actually makes most of the connections, in my opinion.
I'm like, hey, how you doing? My name is Agent K.
I might remember to actually be like, yeah, so we're in a podcast and we do Getty Greenz.
Yes.
But Agent K actually gets the networking stuff. So
you should follow us here and here
right.
and here and here. And we're gonna get more on the little wall. Like, I'm great with that. Beautiful. I can plug myself perfectly.
So,
but I cannot network.
So it's like we just basically are going to have to learn how to work together with that, because there's certain aspects that I'm good at that you are not, and there's a lot of aspects that you are good at that I am not.
Yes. And I stare them down.
Yeah, she's able to look people directly in the eye.
I can look at you in your eyes.
I don't necessarily like doing that because...
Because your eyes are the window to the soul, right? So I'm like... if I'm trying to sell you something myself, I'm like...
She's like, I'm going to
peer into your soul to make sure you're looking into my soul, so you know that I'm not fucking with you. Because I'm not fucking with you. And I said plug yourself unbothered.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't have this. My next one is actually finishing that damn Domestica course.
Oh, that
art
course? Okay.
I only got through the first one.
When you said Domestica, I just immediately went to, like, cooking
Domestic.
And
that's what I fucking said when I kept reading the thing. I was like, this does not work. This does not work for this name, but I'm going to take it.
Got it.
And then, but also saying education period, because I'm also thinking about doing screenwriting.
Yes.
How do you think about that?
Agent K loves to write and read. So,
yes.
And she's also really good with character development.
Yes.
So, I think that would be great for her. I just personally, as a mom, I just want her to follow her dreams, okay?
I have too many. That's the problem. Okay,
she gets that from me, sorry.
My third thing is getting my fucking driver's license.
Again!
Okay,
that is
on
another goal.
3. It's on number 3. Okay. And then my fourth one is putting my art on social media.
Again,
but not pressuring myself. Just whenever I do it, I do it. Mm-hmm. Whenever I do it, I do it. Okay. Anyway, actually recording myself doing things for the business, or taking a picture,
we were just talking about
or
that.
videos, or audio clips of whatever it is, or whatever.
Specifically, behind the scenes stuff would be great.
Yeah, because we're funny, and like we don't ever record our funny.
Right. Well, it's hard to catch the funny. Normally, what happens is something funny happens, and then we go, "Damn, we should have recorded that."
Exactly.
So I don't know what the answer is. Multiple cameras or something.
We need to record more often than we think.
Yeah. Just be like, hey, we're gonna smoke, so let's go ahead and record while we're smoking.
Like roll up, record, because
although it's probably gonna take like 5 blunts before something funny actually happens, because we're gonna be all conscious.
Okay, but in the first blunt we start talking shit. And then in the second one we get, okay, we good. And then the third one we're like, ooh, what if we do this and this and this and this and this? And then once we keep going, it's just over with. We're down the rabbit hole. We're gone.
Right. Not only that, but I feel like recording would actually make us be able to look back at it and be like, well, we said this and this.
Yeah, exactly.
And stuff like that.
I'd be like, ooh, why don't we gotta take this and this into this?
Yep, you got it. We just did a rabbit hole, y'all.
Exactly. Okay, the next one is follow routines more, but be detailed but not unattainable. Because I tend to do that to myself.
We're like 15 posts per day.
I'm like,
under
okay.
the sunlight.
Oh my gosh.
The eastern sky.
It's not even just those things.
You're like,
right?
the sun is now in the western sky. I'm not going to do this anymore.
Okay. You ain't even seen Wicked. You just said a whole Wicked.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
I'm a prophet.
Oh, wow.
I'm just playing.
Yeah, don't come out.
I said I was playing.
But only saying that because I always tend to put goals on myself that I cannot do. But that also includes doing 2 hours of cleaning because I can do that. Put a timer on and then be like, okay, gotta clean all this in 2 hours. Boom. I did something.
I feel you on that. I need to block time better and be like, okay, for the first 2 hours. For the first hour, I'm going to give myself to wake up. After that, I need to get on my shit.
I'm going to do chores in the morning. Mm-hmm. I will not do it at night because fuck that shit. It won't get done. Especially because of the way I work.
Well, yeah. And then also, for me, I need, like I said, I need to do the same thing. I need to be like, okay, wake up 1 hour only.
Yes.
To wake the fuck up. Then it's like, okay, I need to check on the plants. I need to start doing some gardening, spending some time with that. Come back and take a break. Then start doing the Getty stuff or whatever else that I'm going to do for that day. So, and I know that I can do it because I did it before. It was just, I was in my type A personality then, and I'm not in my type A personality. I'm like in type
AB,
C, D
I'm in my AB,
right now.
Where like you're like fuck that shit, but like also I give a damn, but like fuck that shit, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My next one is working on my image, meaning mind, body, and soul, because everyone's like image like outside. No. It takes a lot more than that. You got to work on not only your physical, but your mental and your spiritual and everything else. Which your physical includes like food and like what vitamins you're taking and how you're taking care of your body. Because bitch, I've been slacking since Thanksgiving break.
I'm gonna piggyback on that too. Even like I don't say it specifically in my list of goals, so I'm gonna piggyback on yours. I am going to focus more on mind, body, and soul. For me, body does mean image a little bit, but not like, oh, I need to put on makeup and shit like that. Yeah. But just like, I do need to lose weight just because of, the health conditions that I'm in now, or whatnot, because I'm older and I need to stop acting like I'm 17.
Right.
And do the right things for my body. And then mind, for me personally, I just want to this is going to sound crazy, but I want to unfuck my brain from all of the shit that, I don't want to be when I start talking in a way that doesn't really necessarily make 100% sense to everybody, just hearing it the first time by saying something like, I want to take away all limiting beliefs and all the marketing and propaganda that the country has sold me, that I feel personally that the country has sold me and or any systems have sold me. I want to get completely out of that, where that's not my first go-to in my head anymore. I want something else to be the first go-to in my head. Yeah.
Unlearning,
I guess it's unlearning. It's also valuing something else. Something
valuing yourself, but unlearning all these toxic ass traits.
Whatever
that
it is.
People, sorry to say it like it, but colonizers had put on us,
right.
I guess, and then it changed into what our parents generationally will put on us too,
right?
Which is
and each generation
all
is different. So also soul wise, getting, like I said, getting back into meditating, yoga, breath work and stuff like that, because I feel like I was at my best when I was doing that. And I don't necessarily know what made me stop, other than I don't make myself wake up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning anymore.
Well, now you do for
I do for
your
work,
job, and now you're like
on my off days. I'm like, I'm sleeping in till 8,
yeah, exactly.
or whatever. And 8 sounds
But even
great.
whenever you sleep in, on those days you don't even go like you're not like, oh, I'm still meditate.
Right.
It don't matter. My routine don't change.
Right. And so I need to do that and be more consistent. Do it for me.
Yeah.
And not for any other reason.
Yeah.
So
doing things for yourself is so like
underrated.
Is so underrated. It's like also whenever you learn to do stuff for yourself more, it's like really hard to like get in that habit because it's a habit now.
Right. I'm sorry. I just wanted to piggyback on what you said.
And then the last thing was just more content. More content.
Yeah, and she has a message to herself that just says, do it with 2 exclamation points.
At 3.
Oh, excuse me, 3 exclamation points. Yes. So she's really serious this time, guys.
Right.
These are all of my goals are statements, and there is no punctuation.
Why is it so long compared to mine?
I have a lot of goals for Getty Greenz. I see like the end result.
Oh, so these are more business goals?
There are some personal goals in here too, but yes, they are more business goals. Do you have some for Getty that you said content and networking?
I know, I just wasn't specific, and it seems like yours is very specific. Because I just looked over and you're like,
well, the most of this stuff. Remember, part of my goal from 2024 and what I'm doing this year is getting really serious about the podcast.
Yes.
So, hence goals.
I mean, I'm just saying. I was just asking because I was like not being. I was being vague, but because I didn't want to say anything too much.
Oh yeah, I got you. There are some things that I want to put out there that's like putting out there too much. Manifesting, and also like having an audience to hold us accountable to these things.
I'm manifesting a fucking motorcycle, so we need to monetize.
Okay. Actually, that fits kind of sort of into our goals right here. Chronic Queen's about to bring out these goals. And,
Chronic Queen's goals.
Part of those are monetizing, so it kind of fits. Mm-hmm. I see what the crossover that you did there. While you're looking at my specific goals.
Actually, I didn't see that.
I forgot. You have glasses but can't see.
I cannot see your tiny purple handwriting.
Okay, so starting off Chronic Queen's Getty Greenz goals.
Wow, tongue twister.
Starting a newsletter. One is a podcast is a great way to initially connect to people, but to get a little bit more personal with you guys, and then also things that we have upcoming, things that we want to do, and maybe you guys might have some ideas for us as well. I would like to start a newsletter. I feel like every major platform has a newsletter. There's no reason why we shouldn't either.
We're major.
We're major. We're not basic. The next thing I have on here is start a Patreon / monetize content. Patreon obviously has the monetization aspect down, but the bigger thing for doing Patreon is bonus content that I feel like should be only available to the people who are willing to pay for the monetization. So that might mean more like rogue topics like we just talked about with the conspiracy theories and political stuff, and probably
opinionated shit.
Yeah, or like
or if we teaching moments.
Or teaching moments that probably might not fit into the mission statement on the free feed, which we said was mid.
Yeah, mid.
So
because that's all you're smoking. Is that mid?
And it also could very well just be a donate link. Buy us a blunt. Like most people have like a buy me a coffee button. I would probably have a buy us a blunt. A coffee. Or a blunt is about the same price. So there you go.
Sorry.
The next thing literally just says take the podcast seriously and do the things.
Do it! See? How many exclamation marks do you got?
I don't These are statements, not sentences.
Oh,
so
you ain't got no punctuation?
No punctuation, but I do have checklist mark boxes. So, no judgment, okay?
I'm judging you.
The next thing after the take the podcast seriously is to stick to our own branding and mission statements. Because the main reason is because when I listened to the 2024 episode, we already said all the things that were on our mission statement. So the main thing is that we didn't stick to it. It's really when we restarted back doing content, we didn't
go back and was like,
right.
Let's go look at these.
Right.
Things.
What we did was we said, this is what's hot in the street. Let's talk about that.
Let's be consistent.
Yeah. So now what we need to do is just stay true to ourselves. True to myself, y'all. Okay.
This sounds like a My Little Pony episode. Good Lord. I'm only saying that because the Kraken is into that right now.
The next is pay more attention to building up body. I think that I'm talking about body, mind, and soul.
Oh, okay. That's what I was thinking. And then I was like,
and then why my brain was like that?
Megan?
I'm just trying to figure out why I worded it like that, because I don't talk like that. So apparently being high, that's what I said.
Didn't you hear what I said earlier?
Right.
You're manifesting all of this now.
So the next one.
It's not you, remember?
Oh, it's Chronic Queen doing it? Wow. So the next one is spend more time with family and actually doing stuff. I can say that I do, like me and the Kraken do old lady crafts on Tuesday.
Yeah, you should definitely record that.
And we will do that. Because sometimes she's super funny. And
shit she be saying.
Well, and not only that, but she actually teaches me how to do some of the crochet and stuff.
Whatever generation.
I don't know what she is. Gen Alpha, I think is what they call them.
Yeah, I'm tired of them.
I wish they would call them a Gen Sigma, just because they say that shit all the fucking
Every day. Every day. What the Sigma?
The next thing is get back to reading.
No skibbity.
That's for myself.
I'm sorry.
Because I used to read a lot more. I read articles still, but I would like to actually
I meant to read more books. I thought I'd put that on there.
Well, you can piggyback on mine. I'm
piggybacking off of yours.
Okay,
because
cool.
I did want to read more physical books because I read a lot of Wattpad.
Well, if you do read books, then you should just do a video episode reviewing the book.
I mean, yeah, of course.
When you're done or whatever.
I'll be like, here, join the fucking book club, hoes. Goons. I don't know what we're calling them.
I don't know what
I forgot what we said.
I don't know either, but we'll figure it out. Not only do I want to get back to reading, but I'm not sure if I'm going to read them on air or not.
Oh, yeah.
I guess it would depend on...
If it's a good fiction book?
I don't know if I want to do that, because I feel like fiction, you can get, caught up in copyrights and stuff like that, unless it's super old fiction. But then also the nonfiction, the stuff that I read, it's even possible to get caught up in copyright doing that as well. We're obviously not pulling in enough of an audience right now where that would be an issue, and we also wouldn't be reading any brand new books.
No.
Because I have a huge library, and it's why would I buy something brand new just to read on air? You know what I mean? I would start with what I have.
No, I get that.
Okay. So I'm not sure if we're going to do that or not. If people are interested, I would be down for doing it. And maybe that's a Patreon thing or something. I don't know.
We'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, when we get there, when that comes back around, then we'll talk about it. Conspiracy theories are probably going to end up being behind a paywall. And that might look like half the show is on the free feed and the rest of it is behind a paywall. That might look like all of it's behind a paywall, and that's just to be able to get people content that they actually want to listen to versus what I think they want to listen to. So we'll see how it goes.
Or what I want to put out because I feel like putting that shit out.
Right. So that'll allow me to be able to put the content out anyway. And then if anybody wants to join, then they're telling me what their payment. The next thing I have on here is get back to spiritual activities like meditation, breathwork, yoga, and scripting, which we already talked about.
Yeah.
So that's on here.
Funny.
The next thing I have is do not take on any new projects.
Yeah. No.
Because sometimes I act like Dory and I'm like, ooh, that's a good idea. How can we make this happen? Ooh,
I do that all the time. I'm doing piggybacking on that one too. Because I do that all the time. I'm like, yes, overextend yourself. Yes, overextend yourself. Right. Oh, overstimulate yourself.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then what happens is that you do that with all the stuff that is not your main project.
Yes.
And then you get yourself overwhelmed and then you're not doing anything on your main project. So, and by that, I mean, I don't need to be looking on Craigslist and finding out that there's some hospital that needs a deli clerk to run it like it's their own business type of shit and then put all my eggs in one basket. You know what I mean? That's what I did last year. I don't need to do that. I don't need to be like, hey, this Getty Greenz thing, the podcast is not working right now. I need to make some money, so I'm going to like make websites again and like completely take everything off of that and do something else. I don't need to do that this year. I need to stick with the plan.
Right.
Focus on this and stick to the mission statement. I need to be more organized, not only with like the Getty Greenz stuff, but also just life in general, like bills and stuff like that, as well as like the office that we're in currently to the left. You know what I'm
yeah.
You know, I do need to keep the side hustles though, because my main source of income pays everything, bills and rent wise, but I do need to like
have a life,
possibly do DoorDash once or twice a week in order to progress Getty Greenz forward. And also like, you know, what we were talking about with selling cookies and cakes and stuff like that, yes, or other freezer fill-up type food or whatnot, because we love to cook and everybody loves our shit.
Literally.
Meaning like, you know, those streams of income, and maybe like me finding 2 more, which means like I was thinking about getting my notary license and being like a traveling notary within Oklahoma or whatnot, and get paid for that. I know. And maybe one more, and I don't know exactly what the one more would be, other than maybe making like digital products for Getty Greenz, or like us creating a store or something like that.
Yeah.
Even though that's the same platform, Getty Greenz, it's like a different way to make money through Getty Greenz. Yeah. So like maybe those 2 might be the other 2 that I add this year. I'm not sure. The next one I have on here is networking. And for the note that I gave myself is to stop shrinking myself.
We're literally talking about the same thing. What the hell?
For me, it's not shrinking myself. I think that's because, like, sometimes I think of myself, I'm like, I'm a podcaster. Rawr. You know what I mean? And, like, I don't want to come off as pretentious that way. And then it's also like, sometimes whenever I'm talking about it, I will like give excuses like, hey, we been doing it for a year, but we don't really have a following because, well, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to do that. Nobody needs to know all that.
Yeah. Like, you just need to be like, hey, my name is blah, 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 yeah, and this is what I do.
That's what I do, yeah.
I would like you to follow me, blah, blah, blah. Let's collab on this. I have an idea for this. Like, come in with an idea. An elevator plan. That's what it's called.
Elevator pitch.
Yeah, there you go.
Another, one of my goals for next year is that I would like to throw like a high event, like a 420 elevated event or whatever, or an in-person meetup where we're maybe doing like crafts and smoking, or we're just like, I don't know, we're doing something that involves smoking, okay? I'd like to go to more weed events this year.
Oh, yeah.
If I can do at least one a quarter.
I already took off for cool. 420.
Got you. I need to look at it. Serious. I actually need to look at it on the calendar to see what day it falls on.
I'll show you right now.
So the next thing...
It's on a Sunday.
I'm off. Okay. Cool. So the last thing that I have on here is to grow the audience to at least 1,000 people by the end of the year.
It's Easter.
On 420? Nice.
That's wild.
Jesus resurrected and smoked a blunt.
Yeah, he did.
We're definitely going to probably do some kind of image like that.
We should do a hoodie.
If we do one cool enough, I'll do it.
Okay.
I actually have an idea for it now that we said something, but we'll talk about it off air. The last thing I said, I don't know if anybody caught it because crosstalk and all that.
Yeah, sorry.
The last thing on here is that I want to grow the audience to at least 1,000 people by the end of the year. And I say 1,000 people by the end of the year because it just seems like getting somebody to actually hit the subscribe button is really difficult. And if I get that goal rather quickly, then I will change that up. To be like, okay, now that we got 1,000, I want to get 2,500. Now that we got 2,500, I want to get 5,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that is all of our goals this year. Agent K said hers separately. I said mine separately. We piggybacked off of some. But ultimately, Getty Greenz is going to move forward in 2025. And that is what our main goal is. So I hope that you guys are going to be part of this movement. Because we would really like for you guys to be there. Especially all my day ones that are out there still vibing and stuff like that. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Roll yourself another blunt.
Because we did.
Yeah, because we did. We are on a third blunt.
Yeah.
And this is also Homegirl. No, this is Lunchbox.
This is Lunchbox.
Okay. Lunchbox.
Delicious.
By the way, off topic. Usually anything that is a strain that is food related in the strain name.
You're hungry as fuck.
Usually makes your ass eat. So, although the Lunchbox didn't do that for me, it's just... But it did what it did make me do is snacky. I always want something crunchy.
Yes.
So maybe that's what Lunchbox means.
I'm just like munching.
And just like that, we're wrapped up. Well, we're not wrapped up. And just like that, we're wrapping up our walk down memory lane and getting hyped for the road ahead. 2024 was a vibe of its own proportions, but 2025, y'all, okay, it's about to be legendary. She's so weird.
Your mom.
That's not what you're...
I know.
Yeah.
Big facts.
Big facts.
But hey, we don't just want to talk at you. We want to vibe with you. Get over here. Let's do.
Oh my gosh.
I need to show you that freaking meme because you're always like, what are you talking about? And I'm like...
See how weird you are?
Anyway. So hit us up. Slide into those DMs. Of course you would put that there. Tag us in your stories or drop a comment on like whatever you love this year, you know, and what you want to see next year. Because, you know,
big things
we
poppin'.
like to know. And yeah, big things popping.
And don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave us a review wherever you're listening. You can check the Getty Greenz Instagram, and there's a highlight that shares links on where you can listen to us. If you listen someplace not listed, let us know where so we can register there as well. That's how we keep the circle growing, y'all. Kind of like passing the blunt, but digitally.
Bro, Pandora.
I didn't even have that on the highlight.
I know.
Thing. I need to put that.
You need to put that on there because I need people to be just as shocked.
Pandora was like one of the top ones this year on our analytics that says.
Isn't that crazy?
That people listen to us there. So I didn't even know people still listen to Pandora.
I didn't either. I deleted that shit.
And I didn't know that you can listen to podcasts on Pandora.
I didn't either.
There you go.
Shook.
Always being
The more you know.
The more you.
Also, keep your eyes peeled for 2025 announcements, new projects, events, and a few surprises. We can't wait to share. Trust me, you're going to want to be a part of the journey.
So until next time, stay lifted, stay curious, and stay vibing. Here's to the past, the future, and everything green in between.
Oh my gosh. That's why AI be like, you're so old.
Not you talking about sliding into somebody's DM.
You put that there.
I didn't put that there.
Your AI
okay, but
put
wait.
that there.
The reason why AI puts it there is because it's literally 20 years behind.
I know.
Because it thinks you're a millennial.
I know.
But it does. What am I?
A millennial.
I might be a boomer according to them.
Yeah, no, actually, yes. Because you said, whatever you said.
I was like, Woodstock, really?
That's crazy.
Just so that you guys can be all caught up with this, like, we use AI to help us, like, formulate the intro and the outro. And also, like, help us with, like, certain concepts that we can't necessarily work through and stuff like that. But
we're like, this, and then type this in different.
Because of our age gap, because, you know, mother and daughter.
Yeah.
It keeps saying that Agent K is a millennial. Well, Agent K is actually a Gen Z.
Yes.
I'm the millennial. But it keeps, like, trying to say, like, man, I remember at Woodstock. And I'm like, Woodstock was in 69. Like, I remember doing reports about Woodstock and Jimi Hendrix and other people that were there. But I definitely wasn't there.
That's
so,
crazy.
Like, there is definitely a high theory out there that AI must be 20 years behind.
Or the free AI is 20 years
Or maybe, yeah, or just the free. And I'm not willing to pay just yet for the free or the pro version in order to figure out if this is true.
Oh,
but anyway, that right there, that was freaking that was all like end of podcast rant. Yeah. But like absolutely true. So
you're welcome.
I hope you guys enjoy that. Maybe it'll make the sound bite. Anyway,
later.
See you in 2025. Deuces.